Because you can go skimming.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is top secret beach.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. And are you all staying in the caravan?
No, we just popped up for the day, but my friends own the caravan, so we're very lucky in that way.
What do you normally do? What's your day job?
I'm an engineer, project engineer.
Right, and so you've actually got a respectable job, because we've spoken of late to a lot of younger people listening who are students or still at school. It's nice to speak to someone who's actually, perhaps paying taxes.
Yeah, a bit like yourself.
Oh, you tell me about it. 40% in my higher earning rate. Oh, it's an absolute scandal.
Yeah, most of yours is offshore, surely.
Some of it's offshore, obviously. I've obviously invested wisely as well. Property, that's the way to go. But
Caravans is our business.
yes, caravans as well. I don't know. Does that count as a property? Invest in caravans. They never lose their value.
But part of the year it does.
Before we hear the selection that you've chosen for us, I'm just going to hand you over to our She-J, Sarah, because of course, in a sense, we're trying her on for size today. We're auditioning her in some senses, and she's just going to have a quick word with you, perhaps probe you more fully. Sarah,
how you going there, Paul?
I'm alright, you, sir?
I'm grand, thanks. Yeah. Have you got your pebbly shoes on, or have you got special shoes to walk on the beach in?
I've got my feet on at the moment, that's all.
Your feet on?
that's the first question you came out with, is have you got special shoes on to walk on the beach?
I think we all have.
Is that something you do in Australia? You've got a pair of specialist beach shoes?
They don't really have pebbly beaches there. They have sandy beaches. So I was really shocked, actually.
No, he's on a sandy beach, though.
Oh, yep, that's good. Yep. How's that going? Have you built a sandcastle?
We've built quite a few today, actually. We've built a moat as well, and a big dam.
Fantastic. Have you built a trap for our tourists to fall in?
No, there isn't any tourists on this beach. Like I say, there's no one on it. It's deserted.
And now you've finished with it. Paul, you there?
I am.
Good, it's going well. Yep, so...
This is scintillating, but let's get to the track, because...
tell us about the song.
Sorry, say that again.
The song you've chosen, it's a Dexy's Midnight Runners, isn't it?
Yeah, it's off an album called Searching for the Young Soul Rebels. It's from the early 80s, or late 70s, early 80s, I'm not too sure. But one of my favourite albums, a bit understated, but a really good track off it, dead bouncy. Kind of song that makes you jump up and down in your driver's seat when you're driving along, and then you suddenly realise what a prat you're on, you sink to below windscreen level, but...
That's highly dangerous, we shouldn't be encouraging that. Yeah. Well, let's hear it then. So it's Dexys Midnight Runners, and the track is called what?
7 Days Too Long.
Alright, stay with us, Paul, and we'll listen to the tune. We'll come back in a sec.
Okay, mate.
Dexys Midnight Runners, 7 Days Too Long, the choice of our caller, Paul. Paul, you still there?
I am.
Oh, I'll tell you, man, that's exactly the kind of tune I want on this show. It's a sort of song, obviously I'm familiar with some of Dex's music, and I know that they're much more respected than just the Common Eileen sing-alongs, which we kind of know them for. But that's a cracking little tune. I was unfamiliar with it, it'll almost certainly make it onto my iPod.
Good
it's
track,
top marks for you, Paul.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
Alright, I don't know if you can put that on your CV. Yeah, look at that, you've even got a round of applause. Yeah, pop that on your CV at the top. Top marks,
Steve
Merchant.
I will.
That'll help you in any future job interviews that you may have to go to, almost certainly.
Well, I'll certainly put your name on as a reference, Steve. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know about a reference, I mean, let's not be carried away.
That track, Steve, I don't expect you to know this, but it sounded a lot like the theme tune from Sports Night, the mid-80s BBC programme, and when I get home I might make some sort of mashup, put it out as a white label.
Okay, brilliant. Well, we all look forward to that enormously.
Cheers.
Paul, I really appreciate it, and thank you for taking time out from your day out with the friends and family.
I'll probably enjoy it.
I trust you'll be doing something leisurely tomorrow, being a bank holiday. I myself will be working with my erstwhile colleague Ricky Gervais, working on stuff which will no doubt entertain the masses later in the year. So no rest for the wicked.
I'll probably just sit in the garden myself.
I'll enjoy it. Listen, I really appreciate you getting in touch. Thanks very much indeed.
No problem, thanks.
Cheers, Paul. A little round of applause for Paul.
Yeah, well done, Paul.
He's on the beach. He was making sandcastles. He didn't need to do that. We need to crack on, because obviously each week I like to investigate my pigeonhole, see what's in there, and there's often a lot of bilge, but each week I've so far been able to dig out a couple of little treats here and there. And the first one is this forthcoming single by Reverend and the Makers. I think it's available to download from tomorrow, and the track is Heavyweight Champion of the World. The Reverend is a bloke called John McClure from Sheffield. The Makers are his backing band. The song is Heavyweight Champion of the World. Sarah, is the Reverend your new musical Heavyweight Champion of the World?
Brilliant.
He is, he's fantastic. I was KO'd by the Reverend.
Were you?
Yeah, and he had nice silk shorts on. No, I'm stopped with the boxing metaphor. I liked it. I thought it was really bouncy, really cool. I like the synth in the middle there too.
A thumbs up from you. Rufus, do you share Sarah's opinion?
I do. To me, it reminded me slightly of the craze I had for the Teardrop Explodes and Julian Cope.
Okay.
There was a little bit of that sound about it, except with much more of a Sheffield accent, and I loved it. I really liked it.
Blimey, yeah, there's no more else to say then. Did the Reverend convert you, Harry?
I quite enjoyed it. I like what he did in calling the song the heavyweight champion of the world, because now, of course, it can be used to accompany clips.
Yeah.
The Candy Skins, obscure Oxford band, had a track called Wembley years and years ago, and that was played recently when the new Wembley was going up. So I'm thinking of doing a load of tracks in time for the Olympics 2012, like Always Won the Silver in the High Jump, that sort of thing. Do a whole album of it, and they'll be playing it for years.
We've got a friend called Alex, and he's been talking about trying to put out a song that's just generic, like, I'm a winner, you're a winner, we've won something. It's just you must make it, I mean, Gold by, is it Spandau Ballet? They must have made a fortune.
Yeah.
Exactly, we're the champions, all that rubbish.
Tina Turner's simply the best. I mean, she must have, as soon as she recorded that, she must have, that's it.
Keeping her in ridiculous tights to this very day.
Absolutely. Listen, because the news is fast approaching, as I'm loath to say, we have to get, because we're exploring these new tunes from the Pigeonhole, and next up is The Bird and the Bee. The bird, I believe, is Inara George. The bee is Greg Kirsten. And here's their new single, Again and Again. It's released on June the 4th. Check it out. It's a Steve Show, BBC Six Music. We're just listening to some tracks that have sprung into my pigeonhole this week, new releases, and that is The Bird and the Bee, and a track called Again and Again. Rufus, will you be listening to that song again and again?
Brilliant.
Oh, this is going to work. This is going to run and run, this
they're
one.
paying you, it's not enough.
It isn't enough. Yeah, probably not. I get wanting for. I wanted to have something. I wanted to get going a little bit, I think, and I found it.
Rather like that sentence.
A little bit. God, he's got them all today, hasn't he?
Zingers.
Yeah, go to someone else. I haven't got a strong opinion on
You've
this
got nothing.
one.
Okay, Harry, will it come as any surprise to you that Greg from... No, it's not. It's a sensible question. Will it come as any surprise that Greg from the band... Now, apparently he apparently co-wrote some of the songs on the Lily Allen album.
Well, I was going to pronounce Bird and the Bee, the Lily Allen It's Okay to Like, but you've just blown that, really, with your Lily Allen rev.
Okay.
But no, it washed over me very pleasantly. I enjoyed it a lot.
Sarah.
I half expected someone to say sixth floor lingerie. It really is
Lift music.
Yeah, nothing there for me, really.
I know what you mean. I thought it was a touch dull. Maybe this will brighten up your day then. This is our final choice from the Pigeonhole this week. Harry, do you remember how much you used to love Techno Superstars Orbital?
Oh, jeez, I used to go on about them. I had their posters in my bedroom. I used to have little models of their shiny heads.
Do you remember how much you were gutted when they split up?
It tore me apart.
Yeah, well, imagine how excited you'll be now that one half of Orbital, Paul Hartnell, has got a new album coming out called The Ideal Condition.
This is amazing.
Before that, here's a new single. It features vocals from Robert Smith of The Cure. This is Please. Out tomorrow, new single from Paul Hartnell. That's Please. Rufus, did that please you?
That's the only reason you selected these songs.
Yes, it is.
Three
Yes, it is.
dirty little puns.
Yeah.
I was just listening carefully, thinking that the voice, the vocals are quite low in the mix, which makes it sound a little bit not like Robert Smith, but someone doing an impression of Robert Smith.
Yes.
Someone doing a karaoke Robert Smith light. I like the Head on the Floor reference. That was nice. I preferred Uncle when they did that song with Ian Brown. That was kind of, this sort of music with those sorts of vocals. I preferred Uncle, but I'm not a big fan of this, no.
It's not won you over, Sarah. Are you more charmed?
I love Robert Smith, and I want him to keep playing music until he dies. Maybe not, kill him with music, but
sure, yeah.
I love The Cure. They're great. They can do no wrong, so I liked it. Yeah.
It worked for you,
Yeah.
Harry.
Not as good as Prime Orbital, not as good as Prime Cure. I like the fact that Robert Smith makes no concessions. He's just there groaning through it like usual, make a bit of an effort, mate. Come on, I know you got a few quid.
Well, that was very bitchy. Let me just offer a more positive opinion. I thought it was a sort of nice... It had a kind of contemporary feel to it, and it combined the classic voice of Robert Smith, and it fused well. I thought it was a good summer tune. The end. All right, we'll be back after the news with more tunes, and one of Harry's choices. We'll see if he can do better than Robert Smith, and although he didn't compose it, which is a little unfair, and I'm sure I'll have other bits of chit-chat. Here's the news. From the EP 369 Seconds of Light, that's Belle and Sebastian and La Pastille de la Bourgeoisie. It's a Steve Show, thank you very much. It's a Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Stephen Merchant, and we are joined today with another of our She-J nominees. It's Sarah. Welcome, Sarah. Again.
Hello.
And thank you very much indeed for coming. You live locally, so it's not been a headache for you.
No, it's been fine. Just tube up
just a tube up.
Yep,
Jolly good. Thank you for bringing some snacks as well.
that's right.
Yes, these are traditional Australian snacks.
Yes, I did. I went to a special shop that stocks them, and I got a selection of crisps and sweets and stuff. Yeah.
These are indeed these are called shapes. Yeah, as you say, flavour you can see. It says on the packet.
Yeah, and can you?
And you can see it and you can taste it.
Yeah,
and it's
they're-
a lovely pizza flavour. Thank you very much indeed. Very generous of you.
That's all right.
Now you got in touch. It was you who had a strange run-in with Arcade Fire. Is that right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I was standing outside one of their gigs, waving off some friends who went in to see them at a time. And then the lead singer just stuck his head out from the shadows and waved me in. And it was really cool because he yelled down the street, "Excuse me, do you have a ticket?" And then I looked back at him and I said, no, I don't. And I thought, oh my God, that's Wynn, the lead singer of the Arcade Fire. And he said, "Good, then follow me." And I did. And went to a darkened stairwell, and then he led me up the stairs and I met the band. And then, it's good. They gave me a drink and I went into the show. Sweet.
No. I mean, it begs so many questions. You know, I don't want to sort of pigeonhole all rock and rollers, but one thinks instantly of, groupies and so on, and whether that was his kind of ulterior motive.
I
don't
think
want
his
to
wife's
presume.
in the band, actually.
Right. Okay. So so this is just a strange kind of.
Apparently they do
generosity,
this sort of stuff all the time. Apparently, there's a lot of stories going around like this where, he snuck me in, or he gave me their free CD, or really cool. It's really good, actually. And,
But you didn't have to do anything for it. You didn't have to, because I know there's always someone on stage kind of bashing a helmet or something against the stage. You didn't have to do any of that.
I didn't actually, but at the end they jumped into the audience with all their instruments and sung like an acoustic version of Guns of Brixton by The Clash. It was
okay.
wonderful. It's roaming around. It's really cool. You could touch them and everything. I didn't. Obviously, I'm a professional.
Sure. You're a
You'll
professional.
note
what?
I haven't touched any of you yet.
You're a
so-
professional ligger, is what you mean.
Yeah.
I know if I got him for free, I wouldn't touch the band.
Yeah,
That's not the thing.
yeah.
Well, it's weird because the only time I've ever given anything generously, I didn't get enough payback because I went to Universal Studios in Florida once, or LA, no, in LA, because I had nothing to do on the day, and I was in a kind of fake Irish bar, and there was a fake Irish woman behind it, and we were moaning about the fact that the queues were very long, and she said, "I've got some gratis tickets that I can just hand out to people, and they can jump the queue." So I'm thinking, ding dong. So she gave me and this other fellow I was with, who I didn't really know, these 4 tickets. So suddenly we had 2 spare tickets to jump any ride we thought we wanted to go on, and I thought, ding dong. And we obviously we were prowling around for kind of a couple of honeys, but sadly we couldn't find any. So we gave them to a family, rather generously, and there wasn't enough of a payback. Do you know what I mean? I was expecting them to just kind of be overwhelmed with thanks.
Animals.
But they sort of nodded and just kind of wandered up, and I just was frustrated. I just feel if I give something generously, like when I gave that money to a homeless guy, 20 pence, I just expect a lot more. Expect him at least to perhaps be a slave of sorts for a day.
Yeah.
You know, wash a
Please.
car or my trousers. Do something. You know what I mean? But do something for his money.
In the past, I've seen people who've left money hanging out of a cash point, and there's the 50 quid hanging out, and it's the classic moral dilemma, isn't it? You look at it, the money is in your hand, and then you see this person kind of going up the street, and you have to say, "Excuse me, this is," and if they don't turn round, take the money, look me in the eyes, and just kind of hold my face with their 2 hands while saying thank you, thank you, thank you, I get very disappointed. I've had people say, "Oh, yeah, cheers, I'm always
know.
doing that," walking off. What do you mean? Yeah, cheers, I'm always doing that.
I once found an old lady's purse she left behind in the post office. I sent it to her, obviously. Got a little thank you note back. That's not enough. I wanted money. I wanted a reward, woman.
She's an old lady. She probably knits. She should have knitted you something. At
At
least. That
least.
shows dedication.
You guys want to do a favour for me? I left my travel pass on the train. The driver found it at the end of the night. I got a business card in there. He phoned me up, brought it round to my office. I gave him 20 quid. I'm a nice guy.
Nice. 20 sheets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well done, mate. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm
That is
amazing.
good.
Just as it's, I'm always reminded of that. There's an Emo Phillips joke about I found a wallet in the street once, and I thought, what would I want to be done in this situation? And I thought I'd want to be taught a lesson. So I kept it. So anyway, each week we like to play a cover song, and this week I've chosen Catherine Williams. She did a 2004 album of cover versions, and she did this beautiful song by Neil Young, one of his greatest breakup love songs, Birds. Before I play it, of course, I need to have the jingle. Let's have it from Harry this week.
Mr. Cover.
Deeply, deeply offensive. Doing her version of Neil Young's Birds. That's Catherine Williams. Harry, everyone else has had a chance to recommend a song to me today. You have not yet had that opportunity. Please take that opportunity now.
Okay, I will, Steve. Often in the past we've been in pubs talking about top 5 albums ever, and everyone's list always changes. You always mock me for including Spain, the Blue Moods of Spain, which is an album from '94. You always just blather on about bloody Bruce Springsteen and Neil Young and all that. I'm a bit different. Spain were great. They were kind of bluesy, jazzy, that first album was. Then they went country. Then they split up. But the lead singer was Josh Hayden, who's a great man. He's released a solo album, which he recorded with Danny Automator, and it's out only through his website, I believe. It's not even in shops. You know, he needs our help. This track is called Broken Heart.
Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Stephen Merchant. Almost the end of the show. Have you seen, guys, on the internet, and it's heartbreaking to watch, David